3 years ago, I set out to construct the most powerful nootropic stack for focus, motivation, and sheer cognitive horsepower. I logged hundreds of hours, sampled endless amounts of cognitive performance chemicals, and ran beta tests with soldiers from the United States Army. And after massive experimentation and ruthless trial and error, my work had finally paid off. I found what I was looking for. Boom! Serious Cortex for serious people to get a lot done. That is the productivity smart drug. Okay, nootropics to avoid at night. This is a particularly important video, I think, because people, you know, I think one of I feel like my job after taking nootropics for 8 years and doing all this experimentation and coming to learn all this stuff about it all is that people that are only a year in, 2 years in, 3 years in, or whatever, haven't made critical identifications about how to take them and when to take them, is to inform people how to use them the best way. That's the way that you really get the best usage from nootropics. It's certainly not a haphazard, arbitrary usage of nootropics that's going to get you the best use of nootropics, right? It is really a sort of calculated, informed, strategic way to use nootropics that's going to get you the best effect. So there are a myriad of nootropics that you should not take at night, and you really shouldn't take past, I mean, it depends on how they're affecting you and how long they're affecting you, but I mean, frankly, anything on this list I wouldn't take past 5 p.m. Here's the list. First is the elephant in the room, which is caffeine. Caffeine. Don't take caffeine past 5 p.m. I mean, my rule is don't take caffeine past 3 p.m. You should, and a lot of you probably have figured out what your point is that you shouldn't take caffeine after, because it's going to interrupt with your sleep. For me, I mean, there's no question about it. I can drink a cup of like medium roast coffee, 16-ounce cup at 2:30 and be fine. But 3:15 or 3:30, I'm telling you, I mean, it keeps me up. That's my point. I figured it out. It's 3 p.m. So caffeine is the elephant in the room. Certainly don't take caffeine. Theobromine is number 2. Theobromine is in the xanthine class. So it has similar effects to caffeine and how it works on the central nervous system. And, you know, you can find it in yerba mate. It's like in chocolate somewhat. And then you can also get powdered theobromine. It's actually very cool nootropic to take. I've taken it before when I was not drinking caffeine for months, and it's interesting. I mean, it works. It certainly works, but that's a stimulant not to take at nighttime, because there's no question about it. It will interfere with your sleep. Theobromine, do not take that past 3. If you can tolerate it, maybe you can take it a couple hours later, but just stop at 5 and I mean, at the very least, don't take it past 7 or 8 p.m. Just don't take it at nighttime. When you're sitting in front of your work space and you want to do work at night and you're in that mode, don't take theobromine to do that. Next one, tyrosine, L-tyrosine. Tyrosine is going to crank up catecholamines, basically, putting it simply. Those are neurotransmitters that keep you alert. You don't want to take tyrosine, past this time. We'll just set it as the section at nighttime from 7 or something on where we're going to sit down and do work. Do not take tyrosine. It will keep you up. I mean, everybody's body is different, but I have experimented with this so much, and I talked to a lot of people looking at the mechanisms. I'm totally sure, and at least I know for me, tyrosine keeps me up if I take it, past a reasonable time. If I'm going to do work at nighttime, certainly I will not take tyrosine. Next, smart drug, super elephant in the room, both modafinil and adrafinil. I think everybody knows that, but some people might not. They might think, man, I need to get stuff done. Don't take modafinil late at night. Don't. It's not like you can, I'll just like stay up all night, get a lot of work done, and then tomorrow morning drink some coffee, I'll be all right, take some more modafinil. You're gonna feel like crap. Don't do that. Find another way. We'll do a whole nother video about what nootropics you can take at night. But suffice it to say, uridine monophosphate, a CDP choline, like the Cortex stack is perfect to take all the time. Nobody ever runs into any issues with sleep issues with Cortex that I know of. Anyway, we've got a lot of customers, a lot of feedback. Theanine, of course, a few others, but we'll get into a whole separate video. But do not take modafinil or adrafinil at night. Those are wakefulness promoting compounds. They will keep you up for considerable periods of time. Modafinil, adrafinil, big no-no at night. Let's see, is that the second to last? Okay, yeah, second to last one. Phenylpiracetam. Phenylpiracetam. Do not take phenylpiracetam at night. Maybe you respond differently, but I have tried this 5 or 6 times on different occasions to try to see if it was phenylpiracetam. Kept me up. Not only kept me up, but when there's 2 or 3 times when I actually fell asleep, 2 in the morning or something, after taking phenylpiracetam at like 8, which is weird. I woke up frequently throughout the night and had terrible sleep. Phenylpiracetam is not a good idea to take at nighttime. Again, this isn't going to be applying to everybody, but this applies to me, and I think looking at the mechanisms is going to apply to a lot of people. Do not take phenylpiracetam when you're working at nighttime. Just don't do it. Find another way. Lastly, this is sort of in the middle because I think some people have varying experience with this. Aniracetam. Don't take aniracetam too late. I can get away with the last dose of aniracetam being about 6:30. Anything after that, I can fall asleep, but I will wake up frequently throughout the night, and I tend to wake up anxious, like a little anxiety thing going on. I'm not sure exactly the mechanism for that. I have some theories, but suffice it to say, aniracetam is probably not the best thing to take when you're sitting down to do night work. Aniracetam. You might want to experiment with you and see how far you can push. Ultimately, you'll have different boundaries than me, but generally, aniracetam will probably keep you up or fuss with your sleep. If you take it pretty late at night, I wouldn't do that. Thanks for watching.